Okay, boys and girls. Now, we talk a lot about context clues, and we were just talking about using context clues in our vocab, Ivy. We were just talking about that. So, I want to talk a little bit more about context clues because we use them, or we should be using them all the time. Context is the words and sentences around a word. Now, context clues are the words that help you understand the meaning of an unfamiliar word. Sometimes context clues give a definition of the word. Other times they give an example that helps you understand the word's meaning. Context clues may also help you make an inference or a smart guess about the word's meaning. Now, you know what? We just got a context clue about the word inference. Do you see a context clue giving us the meaning of the word inference? What does the word inference mean? Who can tell me? I see a context clue for the word inference. What does the word inference mean? What does the word inference mean? What does it mean, Logan?
A smart guess.
A smart guess. That's what an inference is. It's a smart guess. When you make an inference about something, you're making a smart guess. It's right here. Inference or a smart guess. That's what an inference is. Now, let's look here about some examples. Here's sentence number 1. And we're gonna use the context clues to figure out the meaning. We have many marine animals, such as whales and porpoises, live in the Arctic. Now, I'm looking at this, and I don't know what marine means. That's an unfamiliar word, marine. But I'm seeing some context clues. I see whales and porpoises. I know that whales and porpoises live in the water. So now I know that marine has to do with the water, the oceans, the seas. So now I have an idea of what marine has to do with. It has to do with the water, the oceans. Now I know what that means. Do you see how you figure that out? Let's look at number 2. I like to eat oranges. They are filled with many nutrients, such as vitamin C, minerals, and fiber. Okay, nutrients. I don't know what nutrients are. But then I see the word such as. So now I'm getting some examples of what nutrients are. They're things such as vitamin C, minerals, and fiber. So now I know that there are healthy things that have to do with nutrition. They're nutrition things. So now I have an idea of what nutrients are. They're the healthy things in foods, right? That are good for us. My dog prefers to avoid all kinds of precipitation. Precipitation, that's a big word. What is precipitation? I better keep reading to see if I can find a clue, a context clue to figure out what precipitation is. If it rains, snows, or sleets, he won't budge from the house. Does anybody see any clue words there that tell me what precipitation is? Elisa? What is precipitation? Are there any clue words in this sentence that tell me what precipitation is?
Yes.
It says here, my dog prefers to avoid all kinds of precipitation. If it rains, snows, or sleets, he won't budge from the house. Are there any clue words in this sentence that tell me what precipitation is?
Rain, snow, or sleet.
Rain, snow, or sleet. So now I know what precipitation is. Forms of precipitation are rain, snow, or sleet. That is precipitation, boys and girls. Rain, snow, or sleet. Precipitation. Now, I'm reminded of today, an SSG. there was a word on there that many of us did not know. What was the word we didn't know today? Yes,
Pupil.
pupil. Now, if we would have had this sentence, I'm going to write a sentence on the board, you may have been able to figure it out. I'm going to erase this, and let's see if you would have been able to figure it out. The pupils in Miss Renner's class sat in their seats. And drew pictures. Okay, here's our unfamiliar word, pupils. Now, when we did it today, there wasn't a sentence for it, right? It was just the word. It just asked what the word meant. It wanted a synonym for it. So now we have the word in a sentence. Now, looking at the sentence, do you think you could figure out what pupils are? Looking at the sentence, are there clue words there that help you figure out what pupils are? Teddy?
Yeah, there are.
What are the clue words that are going to help you?
Class.
Class, right? So you know a class. So it helps you know that they have to be what? Students, right? Students, they're in the class. So that gives you an idea. You're looking for clues in that sentence that help you know. So you're always looking in a sentence trying to figure out what a word is. So remember yesterday when we had about words that might be unfamiliar, you could replace it. So what word could we replace pupils with to see if it works? Yes, Teddy?
Students.
Students. So if we replace this word with students, would that work? So you can replace an unfamiliar word. Does that work? The students in Miss Renner's class sat in their seats and drew pictures. Does that work? Yes. So you can replace an unfamiliar word. We had that come up yesterday. So you can replace an unfamiliar word maybe with a familiar word and see if it makes sense and it works in the sentence. And it does. It does. Very good. So remember, use the clues around an unfamiliar word to figure out the word. Look to see if the definition is there. Like in, like here. Marine has to do, here this one, it's not the definition, but marine has to do something to do with whales and porpoises. Nutrients have to do with vitamin C and minerals. Precipitation has to do with rain, snow, and sleet. So those things all have to do with the word itself, and it's in the sentence. So that's what we're going to be always looking for, boys and girls. Okay? You ready? Let's get busy.